Alrighty, we are live on YouTube, we are live on Instagram. Buenas tardes a todos, espero que estén bien. Mi gata está rascando la puerta como loca. Espero que estén súper bien, que estén pasando un buen lunes. Buenas tardes, Shamim, Sam, Fasan, ¿cómo están? Memov, buenas tardes, feliz lunes a todos ustedes. NB, Jesús y Maya, ¿cómo están? Maya se llama mi gata. Hola, Amado, ¿cómo estás? Amado está aquí en YouTube. ¿Qué hay, Perry? ¿Cómo estás, Cristóbal? Andrés, ¿cómo estás? Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo te va? ¿Cómo estamos? Feliz lunes. Espero que ustedes estén bien, que hayan pasado un lindo fin de semana. Good afternoon, says Danielas. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Hello, Andrés. How are you? Dese, how are you? Mucho... ¿De qué estás hablando, Spencer? ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien, muchas gracias. De Ontario, Canadá. ¿De dónde nos están visitando ustedes? ¿De dónde son todos ustedes? Tenemos a Canadá. Ven, gracias a Dios. G afternoon. What's going on? Hello, teacher. Greetings from Mexico. Muy bien. Tenemos México, Colombia, Canadá. Hi, Jake. Hey, Valecita. How are you? Buenas tardes. Saludos desde Honduras también. De México de nuevo. De Perú. De Panamá. Hey, Jake. What's going on? What's going on? De Boston. Qué bueno. Desde Cancún, de México. De Uruguay. De New Jersey. What's going on? Patricia, how are you? Hello, Brandon. Venezuela. Te hablo de Chile, donde hablamos perfecto el español. Cristóbal, he escuchado. How's it going? It's going well, Maya. Thank you for asking. De Colombia, de México, de España. Wow, qué bueno. Está tarde en España. De Ecuador, de Chile. Sí, el español chileno me han dicho que es bien difícil, que es como un otro idioma. Texas, USA. Aquí estoy yo en Texas. Guatemala, Oklahoma. Otra marina de España. Desde Uganda, Wilmar. Uganda, qué chiva. Hola. Buenas tardes. Instagrameros, si ustedes quieren conectarse por YouTube, ahí van a poder ver todo lo que estoy escribiendo mientras hablo. Y acabo de darme cuenta que no tengo la pantalla aquí en YouTube. So, disconnected or device not connected. Let's see it. Vamos a cancelarlo. Vamos a ir acá. Vamos a tratar de arreglar esto. No me fije. Vieran. Image, window capture. Head existing. Ooh. LG screen. Let's try that. And the window is going to be... Ah, no, that's not window. No. ¿Qué va a ser? Espérense. Tengo que tratar display capture. Vamos a tratar de hacer eso. Display capture, acá tenemos. LG computer. Ok. Ustedes pueden ver lo que estoy escribiendo. Hey, what's going on, Jay? How are you? Bueno, mis Instagrameros, estoy tratando de arreglar esto de YouTube, pero no me va tan bien. So vamos a ir acá. Delete that. Vamos a ir display capture. Create new display capture 3. Okay. And for display capture 3, ustedes pueden ver esto. Qué bueno. Tenemos que ir properties. Built-in retina display. No, ese es YouTube. Aquí estamos. Ya voy. Ya voy arreglando todo. Ya voy. Oh my goodness. Esto es una locura. Vamos a ir acá. There we go. Can you guys see me okay? Instagram, ¿me ven bien? YouTube, ¿me ven bien? No, take your time, no worries. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you guys. ¿Ustedes me ven bien? Hola, Instagram. Hola, YouTube. Ya ahora sí. Desde España. Hey, Jake, what's going on? What's going on, Jay? How are you? Just talk English, please. Okay, Julio. I'm going to speak more English today. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, we are getting somewhere. I think, whoops. Man, I think this is going to have to work. And we'll just work with what we got here. If I go scroll up, scroll down. Very good. Yes, it's perfect now. Man, I appreciate all of you guys. Are you Hispanic? You know, I'm not Hispanic. I'm from Wisconsin. I am puro gringo. My wife is from Costa Rica, though, so she speaks Spanish, and her Spanish has really influenced my Spanish a lot, if you can't tell. I have like a weird accent in Spanish, probably. It's like tico and gringo mixed together, so it probably sounds weird. In English, my accent is, well, northern United States. ¿Por qué dicen, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, you know, son el God? ¿Por qué, Cristóbal? Porque decir, oh my God es como muy fuerte, ¿verdad? Es como ¿cómo se dice? Tomar el nombre de Dios, like take the Lord's name in vain. Eso no se hace. Es muy fuerte decir, oh my God. Oh my goodness es muy ligero. What are we going to practice today? Itsuri, I don't know, man. You tell me. Or I shouldn't say man because I don't know if you're a man or not. What are we going to practice today, guys? Hit me with some questions in the chat. I'm going to make a list, and we're going to try our best to go through them. You speak Spanish very fluently. Thank you so much, man. It's been a long journey learning Spanish, but I really like Spanish. I teach Spanish as well, so that helps me as well. I teach very basic Spanish. Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. And guys, I apologize for being late today. I stayed at my first job too long, and I've just been a mess, I guess, lately. I mixed up my whole schedule and all of that. So, ¿qué vamos a aprender hoy? ¿Qué les gustaría ver? ¿Qué conceptos, qué temas, cuáles ideas, qué les gustaría aprender en inglés? Siento que tengo nivel B1 y en la entrevista de trabajo no puedo hablar fluido. ¿Qué me recomiendas para hablarlo? Uy, buena pregunta. Entrevista de trabajo. Quitar el miedo. Vamos a hablar de eso. ¿Cómo quitar el miedo en esos momentos? Así como en una entrevista de trabajo. Porque de ahí, una entrevista de trabajo obviamente es... You must try Chilean Spanish. Difficulty extra 99. Yeah. Preguntas en posesivos. Yeah, like, do you have? I'm going to put possessive questions. ¿Cómo pasar de A2 a B1 y no estancarme? Buena pregunta. Telling stories in the past tense. Very good. Instagrameros, si quieren ver todo lo que estoy escribiendo, digamos mi lista y todos mis ejemplos y todo eso, se pueden conectar a mi YouTube, es Idiomas con Jake. Ahí pueden ver la pantalla, ver todo lo que escribo, ver todo eso. Y la experiencia es mucho mejor. Tenemos a este micrófono y es mucho mejor que el micrófono de Instagram. Entrevista de trabajo, buen tema. ¿Cómo usar ever? Buena pregunta. YouTube estoy leyendo nada más los chats de Instagram ahora porque se borran. Speaking in English when you're speaking in public. Oh, great question. Public speaking in general. Happy day. Eli, thank you for wishing me a happy day. I wish you a happy day back. Thank you. Let's see what we have over here on YouTube. Te extrañamos, hermano. Bien, yo te extrañé a vos. Espero que estés bien. Can you please explain passive versus be passive? Get passive versus be passive. That's a tough question. I'd have to think about that one, Amado. I'm not certain that I could do that right now, honestly. How do you say in English? ¿Cómo es él o ella? ¿Cómo es él o... Vamos a hacerlo así. Él o ella. Instagrameros, los youtuberos van a decir, ustedes pueden ver la pantalla y toda la experiencia es mejor acá en YouTube. El sitio de web es youtube.com/idiomas con Jake. ¿Qué certificación es la mejor para examinar el nivel de inglés internacionalmente? ¿Qué es? TEFL. Sé que Kefir es bueno también, el de Cambridge. Comparte los slang. Slang. Mi canal es Idiomas con Jake. Mi canal de YouTube es Idiomas con Jake. Ahí pueden ver todo. Ahí tengo videos más largos y todo eso. ¿Cómo conversar fluido con un nativo? I like these questions. Y todas estas preguntas voy a tratar de hablar lo más inglés que puedo hoy. Vamos a estar hablando más inglés. ¿Cómo puedo entrar phrasal verbs sin traducir? Phrasal verbs without translation. Okay, very good question. ¿Cómo memorizar más frases o palabras haciendo ciertos ejercicios? Okay, ejercicios de memorización. Tengo unas buenas para eso. Para ver. Telling stories, past perfect. Wow, tenemos una lista grande hoy. Past perfect. ¿Cómo usar el if? Let's say second conditionals, because I think that's what you're talking about. Si hubiera estado con ella. Word, vocabulario de tubería. ¿Qué es tubería? No sé qué es tubería, la verdad. ¿Qué sería tubería? Errores comunes de los nativos del inglés. Okay, very good question, Jay. Very good question. Common native English speaker errors. Very good question. Is it crazy when natives talk and connect words to create new sounds? Oh, it is crazy. So it's better to speak slowly or try to connect words. Connected speech. Speech. Should I do it? Very good question. ¿Cómo pronunciar la TH? Buena pregunta. Depende de la palabra, la verdad, pero voy a ponerlo. Pronunciación de la TH. Instagrameros pueden meterse a mi YouTube para poder ver todo. Ya somos 44 aquí en YouTube. El tiempo más difícil en inglés. El tiempo más difícil. Eso voy a tener que pensarlo. Bueno, voy a tener que preguntarles a ustedes. Thought. Hypothetical situations. Sometimes get confused with the past tense. Yeah, Jonathan, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. That's going to be second conditional in the past tense. Tubería creo que es pipeline. Tubing? Tubing? No sé qué es tubería, la verdad. Tubería. Ok, vamos a ir. Vamos a ir con esta lista porque es bien grande. Instagrameros. Si ustedes quieren mandar mensajes y preguntar preguntas, va a ser mucho mejor en YouTube la experiencia porque las preguntas se quedan acá en el chat. También la experiencia es mejor porque pueden escuchar muy bien y pueden ver la pantalla mientras escribo todo esto de esta lista. Tenemos una lista de como 20 hoy. Vamos a estar acá mucho rato aprendiendo inglés. Es una lista muy larga. Sí, es una lista muy larga. Pero vamos a verla todo. Okay, I'm also going to speak more English today. I know you guys liked it last time when I spoke more English than I usually do. A lot of the time I'm speaking primarily in Spanish because I know that a lot of people understand everything that I'm saying when I speak Spanish. But I'm going to challenge you today. I am going to try and speak English as clearly as I can possibly speak it. My challenge to you is, even if you don't understand everything, try your best to listen to the words that you do understand and connect the words that you do understand and use context to understand what I'm saying. Juan dice, ¿cómo es el canal de YouTube? El canal de YouTube es Idiomas con Jake. Ahí si vos escribís eso en YouTube vas a verme. Vengo de Instagram, muy bien. ¿Se volvieron locos? Sí, ustedes son unos locos. No se confíen en ustedes. Okay, so how can I not be afraid at a job interview? I think a job interview is a lot like public speaking in that it is something that's very, very, very scary. Challenge accepted times 2. Very, very, very good. Guys, these are scary situations. They're high stress situations. A job interview is often something that it's really important to you, and it's a situation that can be uncomfortable, and you have to kind of prove yourself, and you feel like if you make a mistake, you're going to look silly or things aren't going to go well. And it's the same with public speaking, right? So I'm going to go all the way down here just so we can have some clarity with our YouTube doc. So public speaking and job interview, I just want to think, what are the things that we need to keep in mind when we're doing these two things? One, and this is like straight out of that one song, everybody makes mistakes. Okay, you're going to make mistakes. Somebody just commented on one of my videos, you need a haircut. Thank you to that person. I already got a haircut. Everybody makes mistakes. You're going to make tons of mistakes. And it's more important how you deal with the mistakes that you make. Okay, that's my true opinion in job interviews and also in public speaking. It's less important that you do everything perfect. It's more important that you adequately deal with mistakes that you're going to make. And so going in, I think a lot of us look for perfection. And in this search for perfection, we make one mistake and we feel like we've ruined everything. The job interview's ruined. We're not going to get the job. We're not going to have money. We're not going to pay bills, and our life is over. I think truthfully, if you go into a situation like that, knowing that you're going to make mistakes, knowing that you're going to fumble over your words, you're probably going to say some weird stuff and you're probably going to look goofy, but understanding that that's part of the process, I think that's what jobs want to see too. And so let's say job asks you something that you don't know, okay? So job asks you something, I don't know, maybe it's a coding interview and they ask you to type something in the Python computer language and you don't know what to say. You don't know how to say it. I think it's acceptable to say, listen, I'm not sure right now, but if you gave me X amount of time, I could certainly learn it. And I think that type of attitude is the type of attitude that a lot of companies are actually looking for. It's not, does this person know everything? Of course, there are some things you need to know. So, if you're going into a job interview that's engineering, you better be a good engineer, or you better at least know about engineering. But I'm not sure of that right now. I'm not sure right now. But if you gave me a day, I could certainly learn about it. And, I just started a job as a waiter and I'm still improving my English. Do you think I made a good decision? Yeah, being a waiter is an amazing way to improve your English. So I think that's with the job interview. Everybody's going to make mistakes. And somebody says in here, making mistakes is an essential part of learning anything new. Jay, you're absolutely right. It's a part of the growth process is making mistakes. So you're going to make a lot of them. Interviews are horrible even in our mother language. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is for English speakers too, right? I haven't had that many job interviews in my life, but that's public speaking, that's job interviews, how to take that fear away. And then something that's very, very, very important. You need to be practicing out loud. Many of us speak English and we can write English very well and we can read. And a lot of you can even understand perfectly what I'm saying to you right now when I'm speaking to you. But we don't practice enough speaking. And I notice this in my Spanish classes when I'm giving classes in the United States. I notice it with English classes that I've given in the past to people online is we need to practice more speaking the language as opposed to just reading and writing. Who can you practice with? Carlos says, practice creates confidence. Yeah, practice creates confidence. You can practice with your dog, your cat, your mom, your dad, your wife, your brother, your sister. There are many people who you can practice with. And if there's nobody, just practice out loud. Like I might write something like this. Okay. English practice. I have to go running. I love running. I want to run and I wish I could run. Okay, well, here's a few different verbal tenses and I can use these to practice my accent as well, right? I have to go running. Notice how I don't say have to go running. It kind of combines to have to. I have to go running. I love running. And then I could practice that v, that you guys really don't have that much in Spanish. You have like verano, but it more sounds like a b. I love running, right? I want to run, but when I say I want to run, it really sounds like wanna. Okay, so I can see this. I wanna run. I wanna run. I wish I could run. I wish I could run. I wish I could run. These are all different ways that I can practice English. Instagrammers, if you want to see what I'm writing on my screen, you can go to YouTube, Idiomas con Jake, and you can see everything that I'm writing, and this microphone's a little bit better as well. Someone once told me if something causes nervousness in you, it's because that something is an important thing in your life. After that, I started to embrace my nervousness. That's an amazing attitude to have, Jonathan. And it reminds me of this Carl Jung quote, who's I believe he's from, where's he from? He's an Austrian psychiatrist, and it is that which you most need, and this sounds very formal, but it's not as formal as you think, is always to be found where you least want to look, right? And notice again, when I say want to, it always sounds like wanna. So saying wanna in English is not an informal thing to do. Writing wanna is an informal thing to do, okay? That which you most need is always to be found where you least want to look. Eso significa, lo que más necesitas vas a encontrar donde menos quieres ver, donde menos quieres mirar. Okay, so lo que más te da miedo es lo que más te va a ayudar en la vida. So siento que eso con los trabajos y con practicar el inglés y con quitarte los nervios, ¿verdad? Algunas veces no sé si escucho mal, pero si ustedes pronuncian la H no tiene sonido. A veces. My car has finally gotten fixed. My car has finally been fixed, which is correct. Amado, there you could say gotten and been. It doesn't really matter the context. Jime Vargas Ire says hi. Hi, Ire. How are you? ¿Cómo estás, Ire? Te extraño mucho. Espero que estés bien. Espero que estés muy bien. Yeah, you can use gotten and you can use been in that context either way, Amado. My car has been fixed. My car has gotten fixed. Both of those work. Luisito. No soy Luisito Comunica. No tengo millones de dólares y no tengo millones de suscriptores o seguidores tampoco. De hecho, me encanta Luisito Comunica. Él es parece muy amable. Okay, vamos a seguir con nuestra lista. We're going to continue with our list. So that was our job interview. Possessive questions. I presume that possessive questions are these questions with tener, ¿verdad? Como ¿tenés la plata que me debes? Te veo desde Australia. Muy buena vida. Muy bien, pura vida. Has engordado un poco, Luisito. Sí, fijo sí. Fijo sí. Luisito está más flaco que yo. ¿Tenés la plata que me debes? Yeah. Do you have the money that you owe me? ¿Qué, Wilmar? ¿Qué te da risa? Luisito, dice Alexander. Oh, you guys are crazy. Do you have the money that you owe me? Do you have the money that you owe me? I want you to notice this actually sounds like you have, right? You, and it's almost like this. Have. Do you have the money that you owe me? Do you have the money that you owe me? So when we pronounce it like that, that's how it's going to sound. I'm from Kurdistan. I love to speak Spanish, and I can speak Arabic and Persian and English. That's very cool, man. You speak a lot of languages. That's remarkable. So tener la plata que me debes, do you have? Exactly. Possessive questions. If it's he or she, we're going to say does. Okay, so for example, ella tiene tus zapatos. Y vamos a hacer la pregunta, ¿verdad? Ella tiene tus zapatos. Does she have your shoes? Right? And so I think it's important really with questions to think about how we change syntax in English. Could you omit the that on that sentence? Diana, sí podría omitir la palabra that, pero en lo escrito normalmente no lo omitimos. So, hablado, casi siempre vamos a omitir esa palabra. No me acuerdo qué era la oración, pero sí se puede, pero normalmente escribiendo no lo omitimos. Normally we don't. So, does she have your shoes, right? And this is kind of weird how we say have, right? Does she have? Because normally if I was stating it, ella tiene tus zapatos. Si lo estuviera diciendo, linda guitarra. Gracias, Jean. ¿Cómo traduciría chalk it up? I'd have to put that on the list, brother. Ella tiene tus zapatos. She has your shoes. Does she have a lot of subscribers like Luisito has? I don't know, man. I don't know. A veces cuando quiero decir Luis, yo y Armando no tenemos trabajo. Luis, I, and Armando does not have to work to do. No, normalmente diríamos Luis, Armando y yo. Does she have or does she have? Does she have? Andrés, si quieres ver lo que estoy escribiendo, puedes meterte a YouTube. A mi YouTube, Idiomas con Jake. Ahí puedes verlo todo. Puede dar ejemplos con which. Sí, lo pongo en la lista. How's it going, Jake? Doing well. Thank you. Which. So, esas son mis preguntas con la palabra tener. Vamos a hacer otro, ¿verdad? Suave. Él tiene 3 perritos. Does he have 3 dogs? Does he have 3 dogs? Él tiene 3 perritos. Does he have 3 dogs? Yo soy Yang. Does he have 3 dogs? Notice, it changes to have. No sé por qué, pero la sintaxis va a cambiar y el verbo va a cambiar también. Does he have? Si quisiera decir, if I wanted to say, él tiene 3 perritos, I might say, he has 3 dogs. Very weird. Ahora estoy viendo por qué estas preguntas les cuestan a ustedes, porque cambiamos no solo la sintaxis, pero también la palabra has cambia a have. Muy raro eso, ¿verdad? Muy raro. En preguntas se usa have para he, she, o it. Exacto. She has 3 dogs, doesn't she? And Carlos said, so that's kind of an interesting question. That's kind of an interesting way to say that as well, right? Ella tiene 3 perritos, que es un dicho, ¿verdad? Estás diciendo, ella tiene 3 perritos. Y luego decís, ¿no es cierto? So there we'd say, she has 3 dogs. Doesn't she? It's like a statement and a question put together. Luis, ¿cómo se pronuncia mi nombre? Jean o Jan? Jean. But I guess it depends on who's saying it, if it's a French person. If it's a French person, they'll say Jean. ¿Te cortaste el pelo? Me corté el pelo. Fue hora de. Es una afirmación. O sea, sí es cierto, Wilmar. Sí es cierto. Pero es como una pregunta, ¿verdad? Como una afirmación, pero con un poco de duda. She has two cats. Ella tiene dos gatos. Does she have two cats? Mira. She has two cats. Ella tiene dos gatos. Does she have two cats? Ella tiene dos gatos. A ver, se cambia debido el auxiliar does. Exacto. Jime, yo aprendí que cuando tenemos does en la pregunta de oración, quitamos la S del verbo. Y de igual manera aplica para el has. Por eso usamos el have. Muy bien, Jimena. Muy bien. Eso tiene sentido para mí. Esa regla. That makes sense to me. You cut your hair, didn't you? Right? So that's kind of interesting. Te cortaste el pelo, ¿no es cierto? Te cortaste el pelo. Y normalmente diríamos, te cortaste el pelo, ¿no? You cut your hair, didn't you? Si es una afirmación en forma de pregunta. Qué interesante cómo hacemos eso. Muchos saludos, Jake. Me encantan tus clases. Gracias, María. Gracias. Instagrameros, si quieren ver lo que estoy escribiendo, pueden meterse a YouTube. Vamos a continuar. Ok. ¿Cómo pasar de A2 a B1 y no estancarme? Buena pregunta. Buena pregunta. No, para serles sincero, yo siento que pasar de A2 a B1, eso es más fácil que, digamos, pasar de B1 a C1, de intermedio a avanzado. So I feel like going from A2 to B1 is easier than going from B2 to C1, okay, and going from intermediate to advanced. This is what you need to pass from A2 to B1 and not get stuck in English. First things first. Primero lo primero. Así lo dicen, ¿verdad? Primero lo primero. You have to speak. If you're not speaking out loud, I don't think you'll ever get from A2 to B1. So in your practice routine, there needs to be 10 to 15 minutes of speaking every single day. Tenés que hablar todos los días. Hablar, hablar, hablar. Hablar es lo que menos nos gusta, pero es lo más importante para nuestro crecimiento. So speak, speak, speak. We have a saying in schools in the United States, if you can say it, you know it. All right? If you can say it, you know it. It's the true test of your ability to produce with the language and your ability to use the language. But A2 to B1. B1, for those of you who don't know, is intermediate. These are Kefir levels. B1 is just intermediate low. All right, and intermediate low is somebody who can start to navigate not highly academic situations, but situations that they don't know necessarily all of the vocab, and they can navigate those situations. So B1 is a place where, aun si no sabes algo, puedes explicar lo que quieres decir. So eso es B1, básicamente. Es intermedio básico. Intermedio low, lo que decimos. Hey there, how you been? I've been doing well, thank you. If you can say it, you know it. Wilmar, it has sense or it makes sense? It makes sense. It makes sense. Eso tiene sentido. That makes sense. So, in order to pass from A2 to B1, you have to be consistent. Tienes que ser consistente. I'm from Brasil. ¿Você fala português? Valentina. ¿Cómo vai? Tudo bem? You have to be consistent. You have to practice out loud every single day. And you have to do all four modalities of a language. So that's another thing. I always talk about speaking because nobody wants to speak. Nadie quiere hablar, pero hablar es lo más importante. Pero tenés que reading, writing, listening. Listening is actually the easiest. And then speaking is the most important. The most important. All right. Intermedio, pasar a avanzado. Sí, eso sí es difícil, Aleja. Porque ahí sí es leer mucho más para tener más vocabulario. Y también aprender gramática, que es más difícil, ¿verdad? Falo português ou espanhol? Tentando aprender inglês. Você vai muito bom. Você vai muito bom. Muito bom, muito bem. Do you think a B2 level is okay to get by in an English-speaking country? Absolutely. B2, intermediate level, is absolutely enough to get by in an English-speaking country. Porque cuando usan lenguaje, parece que están hablando otro idioma. Anthony, para serte sincero, porque mucha de la gente que... Suave. ¿Ustedes me escuchan bien? Instagrameros me escuchan bien. YouTuberos me escuchan bien. Pensé que perdí la conexión. Me dijo que sí. Ok, yo creo que ya estamos bien. De fijo. Pero lo que pasa es que en las redes sociales, sí se escucha. Ok, porque me dijo que no. Me dijo que había perdido conexión. On social media, first of all, it's an informal environment for a lot of people. Secondly, and I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, no estoy tratando de ser vulgar cuando digo esto. A lot of the people who write a lot on social media are often the people who are less educated, and so they write a lot on social media, and maybe they're not highly educated people, and they write the way they speak, which is totally fine. But you see that a lot on social media, don't you? It's very interesting. On the internet in general, if you've ever been on Reddit, you would see that, yeah, a lot of people speak very informally, or also just say things that we wouldn't, they write a lot like they're actually talking. And so it's pretty interesting. Vamos a continuar. Pero sí, para responderte, Jay, estar B2 en otro país es más que bien para poder manejar la situación. Instagrameros, you can hear me. Okay, awesome. Image isn't clear. Edis, I'm so sorry. That may be my internet, that may be your internet. I'm really not sure. Vamos a continuar. Contando historias en el pasado. Esto en el pasado, yo me acuerdo, tenía que ver con el pasado perfecto, ¿verdad? So, let me tell you guys a story in the past tense. When I was a kid, my friends and I I was born in Wisconsin in the northern United States. So if I speak weird, that's why I speak weird. When I was a kid, my friends and I would go to this big man-made lake up in Wisconsin during the summer. So it was warm, and we would go there, and it was man-made because it used to be a mine shaft where they would mine for minerals, and they filled it up with water and made it into a huge lake. We've seen the movie. Habíamos visto la peli. We had seen the movie. Hemos visto la peli. We have seen the movie. And so we would go to this lake, and it was one of the most deep lakes in the United States. It was one of the deepest lakes. It was very deep. And there was a big cliff, un acantilado. And the cliff was high, and I was very scared to jump off this cliff into the lake. It was probably like 30 feet, 10 metros, 30 feet. And all my friends all seemed so strong and brave, and they just jumped off this cliff like nobody, like they weren't worried at all. And I was very, very, very scared. So scared that I didn't even like going to this lake because I was scared that they would want to jump off this cliff into the water. But I conquered my fear, and when I got to the top of the cliff, I just, what we call sent it in English, and I just jumped off the cliff without even being worried. And in the air, I was very, very, very scared. And the second I hit the water, I felt a big splash of relief go over my body. I was like, whew. I was very, very, very happy that I had finally done it, and I felt like a man, just like the rest of my friends. And so that's my story in the past tense. Realistically, how can I tell a story in the past tense? Eso de feet, no lo entiendo. Esas medidas me cuestan. ¿Alguna recomendación? Here goes nothing. Exactly. That's what I said, Jay. Here goes nothing. Te estimo. Ya me voy. Okay, cuídate, Valentina. Will this video be available to watch later? It will, Francisco. It will. So that was a time in the past tense where I was scared. Tenía miedo. I was scared. And I got over my fear. Superé el miedo. And I jumped off the cliff into the water. Brinqué del acantilado al agua. Me dio mucho miedo. I was very scared. But I was very happy and relieved. Me sentí muy feliz y muy contento de haberlo hecho. I was very relieved that I had done it, de haberlo hecho. I had seen the movie. Había visto la peli. I have seen the movie. He visto la peli. Okay. Pasado perfecto, presente perfecto. Eso es importante. Attaboy, thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Jay, I get the impression that you speak pretty good English because of some of the things that you say. I hadn't closed the door before eating. No había cerrado la puerta antes de comer. I hadn't closed the door before eating. Yeah, hadn't. Adventure boy. Yeah, Wilmar, so that was one of my first adventures with water. I mean, not my first adventures, but my first scary adventures with water as a kid. And hey, those type of things, you know, they can be really scary. Like, I'm afraid of heights. I'm a big baby with heights. My wife went skydiving, se tiró de paracaídas, and I didn't go. Yo no lo hice porque tenía miedo. I was scared. No me gustan las alturas. I don't like heights, man. I'm afraid of heights. So let's continue. I hope that helps you out a little bit with the past tense. I don't know. I didn't feel like writing so much. So I just told you guys that weird story of me jumping off the cliff. Aha. Ever. Ever. Here's how we use this word ever in English. Okay. So, ¿cómo se usa la palabra ever? Primero que nada, cuando estamos preguntando, when we're asking, we can say alguna vez. And this alguna vez, actually, we use the word ever, but we change the syntax a little bit. So, for example, ¿alguna vez te has tirado de paracaídas? Creo que así se dice. Si se dice mejor, si hay una mejor manera de decir esto en español, me dicen. If there's a better way to say this in Spanish, let me know. ¿Alguna vez te has tirado de paracaídas? I can say, yeah, exactly, Wilson. Exactly, Francisco. Exacto. That's exactly how we say it, right? Have you ever? So, ¿alguna vez has hecho algo? Have you ever? This is very, very common in English. When we say alguna vez has X. Have you ever went skydiving? No. Have you ever gone skydiving? What am I thinking? Have you ever gone skydiving? ¿Alguna vez te has tirado de paracaídas? Have you ever gone skydiving? Right? Tirado de paracaídas, we say skydiving. Exactly. Edie says, ¿alguna vez has ido a Guatemala? Very good. Have you ever been to Guatemala? ¿Alguna vez? Yeah, exactly, Wilmar. ¿Alguna vez cuando estamos preguntando? Have you ever drank mezcal? I have drank mezcal. Why gone? Yeah, have you ever gone skydiving? Because we say to go skydiving. I don't actually know why, but because tirado de paracaídas, it's a different verb in Spanish, so I understand. But we say to go skydiving. ¿Alguna vez te has tirado de paracaídas? Está bien. Ok, gracias, Aleja. Gracias. E Instagrameros, si quieren ver lo que estoy escribiendo, pueden meterse a YouTube. Ahí pueden ver todas estas oraciones escritas también. Nunca, never. Yeah, so we've, y esto es mentira porque sí hemos ido a Guatemala, but we've never been to Guatemala. Now, note, when we say haber ido o haber visitado algún país, decimos been to instead of gone to. Podemos decir gone to. We've never gone to Guatemala. But oftentimes we say been to o haber estado en algún país. Did you ever see a cat? ¿Viste un gato? Did you ever? Entonces, ¿por qué la canción de Taylor Swift dice never, ever, ever getting back together? Sí, never, ever, ever. Aquí, estos ever, like, no lo voy a cantar. Si lo canto, todos ustedes se van y me quedo solito el maestro pensando en lo que hice. Never, ever, ever getting back together, right? That's the Taylor Swift song that you're thinking about, Anthony. Estas palabras ever, these are emphasizing the word never. Never. Never really means not ever, right? Ninguna vez, como lo diríamos, ¿verdad? Yo sé que ustedes no dirían eso, pero I know you guys wouldn't say that, but it's like ninguna vez, like not ever. We want Jake to sing. Jay, brother, I love you, but you do not want me to sing, man. You do not want me to sing. So, have you ever had... Wilmar, eso es... como Wilson, eso es súper gracioso. Hay un niño, hay un video que dice... Have you ever had a dream that you... And then he just stumbles over his words and he says, have you ever had a dream that you could... And he's just stumbling over his words. That's very funny. That's like a good cultural reference. I just showed that to my wife the other day. Jimena says, no, we don't. No, Jimena sabe. Jimena knows. You do not want to hear me sing. Es como nunca. Yeah, exactly. Never, ever, ever. So, That's my first use of this word ever. Ese es el primer uso de la palabra ever. Vamos a continuar porque tenemos otro uso. Mi segundo uso, y hay mucho más de esto, pero no voy a cubrirlos todos. Los he cubierto en un video, pero de todos los tiempos. Are you guys ready for something controversial? Something controversial? Lionel Messi is the best soccer player ever. And yes, I say soccer because I'm a gringo. Okay, I know I should probably say football, but Lionel Messi es el mejor jugador de fútbol de todos los tiempos. Okay, esto es otro uso super común. This is another very common use of this. And Instagrammers, if you want to see what I'm writing, you can see it on my YouTube channel at Idiomas con Jake on YouTube. Lionel Messi is the best soccer player ever. Es el mejor jugador de todos los tiempos. ¿Qué piensan? Vamos a hacer un poll aquí por YouTube. Is Lionel Messi the best soccer player ever? Let's see what you guys think. Yes or no? We're going to make a poll. My YouTubers, you guys can vote in this poll and you can tell me, is Lionel Messi the best soccer player ever? Is he the best soccer player ever? And note, when I ask this question, I say, is Lionel Messi the best soccer player ever? Is he? Let's see what we got. 50-50, 50-50 con 14 votos. Vamos a hacer nuestra votación aquí por YouTube. Is Lionel Messi the best soccer player ever? Maya says, you're the best teacher ever. Muchas gracias, Maya. Eso te lo agradezco. Eso te lo agradezco. I appreciate that. He's the best one ever. A controversial topic. Yeah, Jay, that was the point. I'm probably going to lose some followers over this Lionel Messi thing too. I am kind of surprised you guys are saying no. You guys are saying no. No les gusta Leo Messi. No les gusta. 26 votos. Is he the best player ever? YouTubers, y'all can go to the chat. You can vote right there on the chat. Have you ever been to Guatemala? I have been to Guatemala. My wife and I have been to Guatemala, and we love Guatemala. People were so nice. The food was good. The weather was awesome. It was such a beautiful country. There was so much indigenous culture that was very cool to us. Laudi says Leo Messi is not the best soccer player ever. So you guys say, 32 de ustedes dicen, Lionel Messi is not the best soccer player ever. Have I seen him play live? No, I haven't. I should go to Miami. No, but anyway, we love him. Okay, very good. Very good. Profe Cantante. No, Sarai. No. Okay, so you guys say Lionel Messi is not the best soccer player ever. I'm ending the poll now. Voy a terminar el poll. Ustedes dicen para ver la votación. 55% dice, 55% of you say Lionel Messi is not the best soccer player ever. And 44 of you say Lionel Messi is the best soccer player ever. So I have a question for you guys. Who is the best soccer player ever? Respond in the chat in a complete sentence. So respondan, por favor, en oraciones completas. ¿Quién es el mejor jugador de todos los tiempos en inglés? Who is the best soccer player ever? I might say, boom, is the best soccer. And you can say football if you want. You could say football player ever. Who is the best soccer player ever? Who do you guys think? If it's not Leo Messi, who might it be? This Cristiano Ronaldo guy, Pelé, Ronaldinho, Messi. That's why they don't improve their English, because they're wrong about Messi. Maradona are both the best soccer players ever. But I don't know if we can have two best players ever, can we? Jimena, what do you think? Who's the best soccer player ever? Could it be Idiomas con Jake? I mean, am I the best soccer player ever? Cristiano Ronaldo is the best soccer player ever. I think the best player ever, Johnny Unitas. That could be, man. That could be. Cristiano. ¿Qué significa? I'm relating to what you're saying. Ronaldinho is the best soccer player ever. I like Ronaldinho. I like his style. Very difficult question to answer. Maradona, Messi, Pelé. Messi is was and will be the best soccer player ever in the world. That's it, Aragon. Maradona doping. Interesting. God, I love stirring up controversy in the chat. I like seeing all the controversial. I like making you guys fight with each other. Pelé is the best soccer player ever. Yes. Yo soy Argentina y Messi y Diego son los mejores. They're the best players ever. Cruyff. Thank you guys so much for your votes. Thank you guys so much for your participation. I now see where you all stand, and you're not big Messi fans you're not as big of Messi fans as I thought you'd be. I thought it'd be like 80-20. Yes, of course. Ronaldinho is the best soccer player ever. Y cuando decimos Ronaldinho, tenemos que decirlo así como los brasileiros. Ronaldinho. All right, we're going to continue because I got a long list. Voy muy despacio con esta lista. Vamos a estar acá toda la noche. Public speaking. We already talked about public speaking. How to be more comfortable in public speaking. Understand that you're going to make mistakes. I would say with public speaking too, learn about posture when you're doing public speaking and take your time. Anytime that I'm giving a class or I'm in a situation where I'm a little bit nervous, I always try and take my time a little bit more. So when I'm trying to explain something, I take a step back and I take my time. It's also important to have good posture and put your hands like this. If you put your hands like this, I don't know what it is. People say it's Illuminati or whatever. You feel more comfortable. And if you do that, you look confident in yourself and it's much easier to speak publicly. So that's what I'll say about public speaking. Cruyff, yes, of course. Neira, Pelé es el que ha ganado más. Okay, so he's the best player ever. En el caso de Messi, podría decir que es el mejor. Okay, he's the best offensive player ever. Interesting. Desde Colombia, I'm from Costa Rica. Aquí tu fan, pensé que era las 4. Chris. Sí, son las 4:53. Dije la hora mal. Puedo haber sido yo. ¿Qué es speech en chat? ¿Y cómo se diferencia? Speak es hablar. Chat es como hablar, pero muy ligeramente, ¿verdad? Muy ligeramente. Pero lo usamos así. Así los intercambiamos, ¿verdad? Speech and chat. Illuminati, eso, Jimena. Así hay que ponerse. Así con las manos y todo el mundo te va a seguir, te va a dar plata, vas a ser lo mejor de todos los tiempos. You're going to be the best ever. Maradona was a god, not a soccer player. Beautiful. Conversar, chat, exactly. So let's continue. So guys, I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Ahí me corrigen si me equivoco. I think the best exam internationally, so internacionalmente, es este examen de inglés. KEFR, internacionalmente. En los Estados Unidos, TEFL es el examen que la gran mayoría te va a pedir. So, TEFL en los Estados Unidos, el examen de inglés, y KEFR a nivel mundial. No sé hablar de fútbol, no entiendo nada. Yo también. Yo tampoco, root Illuminatio. Yo tampoco. Puppies, cachorros. All right. You guys want to learn some slang? ¿Quieren aprender slang? The number one slang term that I think we use in English is using this word got instead of have. So, I have 3 dogs. I got 3 dogs. Understand that I don't like using slang that much, like especially very informal slang. So I can teach you guys ain't, and I can teach you all of that type of slang, or just grammatically incorrect uses of English that people say a lot, but I don't really feel like it because I don't use them. I don't like using them. Ain't is very, very, very common. Yeah, what's the meaning of bump into? Bump into is ver. Voy a ponerlo en la lista. Bump into. Es como ver. But got, have, right? I got a lot of money. And here we will often do this concatenation or this combination of words, which is I got a lot of money. So somebody asked me earlier things that you'll see online where people don't write the way that they should write, or they write informally, or they write like using slang. Gotta, lotta, right? I got a lot of money. I got a lot of money. But when I speak, I'm probably going to say I got a lot of money, right? I'm not going to say I got a lot of money. I'm not going to speak so rigid like that. I'm going to combine my words. Aquí en Reino Unido, sí. How can I know my English level? Diana, you can know your English level by going to Cambridge English. So guys, if you want to know your English level, I'm just going to go down here a little bit. Cambridge English test. Okay, and you can kind of get your general English level. Ronaldinho. Sí, exacto. It seems like you don't like that. You always look uncomfortable when people ask you about slangs. Wilmar, it's kind of interesting because as a teacher, you want to teach what's grammatically correct, right? And so I know it's important to learn slang, and especially if you're going to hear slang, but I don't like teaching slang because I don't like teaching things that I don't use. But I understand that it's important to know. So it kind of does make me a little uncomfortable. I'm just like, oof, should I teach this? Should I not teach this? How should I go about it? But let's see ain't. Let's see ain't. Okay. Ain't, no ser o no estar. Okay. And sometimes in very informal situations, no tener. Okay. And we're gonna see that. Okay. Yo no soy su papá. I ain't his dad. How should I really say this? ¿Cómo debería de verdad decir esto? I'm not his dad. Instagrameros, si quieren meterse a YouTube, ahí pueden ver todo lo que estoy escribiendo en la compu mientras hablo. Ahí pueden ver bien, escuchar mejor y también interactuar mejor porque puedo ver sus chats. Yeah. I ain't his dad. I should say I'm not his dad. Yo no soy su papá, ¿verdad? Yo no soy su papá. No estamos felices. We ain't happy. We aren't happy is what I should really say, right? We aren't happy, but ain't is common here. And then here we also use ain't combined with the word got. So, no tengo nada de dinero. I ain't got money. Duele para mí decir eso, pero hay gente que lo va a decir, ¿verdad? I ain't got money. Super jerga. No lo usen. No es bueno usarlo, pero vas a escuchar a gente decirlo. Do I use ain't on my daily speech? I never use the word ain't. Never, Jay. Never. Duele leerlo. Sí, ¿verdad? ¿Verdad, Jime? Duele leerlo. I ain't got money. Y vas a ver a gente también decir, I ain't got no money. Que es como doble negativo, es absolutamente horrible. Yo me acuerdo que cuando era niño, when I was a kid, my mom said, like, eat your food, come tu comida. Y yo le dije, I ain't got no fork. Yo le dije esto con como 12 años, el Jake con 10 o 12 años. Le dije, I ain't got no fork. ¿Qué quería decir? I don't have a fork, ¿verdad? No tengo un tenedor. Y casi me golpea mi mamá. Casi me pega en ese momento. Estaba tan enojada conmigo por decir, I ain't got no fork. Mi mamá siempre fue súper estricta con la gramática. Súper estricta. Pero este es mi examen. Es verdad, estoy pensando en el horario de México. Perdón, Chris, perdón. Might versus may. ¿No se ve lo que escribes? No. Sí. ¿No pueden ver lo que escribo? Vamos a ponerlo en la lista. Might versus may. Como quizás. Good mom. She almost kicked you out. Yeah, Wilmar. She almost kicked me out. She almost kicked me to the streets I was 10 years old. I would have been like a street baby. And I would have been speaking, I ain't got no, all that stuff. No digan eso. Yo nunca digo la palabra ain't en mi vocabulario, en mi día a día. Now we know why you don't like slang. Sí cierto, Jime. That's why I don't like slang. Bump into. Guys, bump into is a common use of English. Let's put it here. Bump into literally means, like you ran into someone. Like, for example, let's say we're walking. You bump into each other, okay? We use it figuratively. Like, let me give you this example. I bumped into Hime at the store yesterday, right? This means, like, I'm not saying literally I bumped into her. It means to say I saw Hime /talked with Hime at the store yesterday. Now, your image is still blurry. Iris, you need to change go to the settings and change the resolution on your screen. Change it to 1080. 1080. And if you don't have that good of internet, you can change it to 720, and that'll help. Okay. I saw Hime, or I talked with Hime at the store yesterday. I bumped into Hime. So that's me saying we didn't literally bump into or run into. We also say run into. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the list. Thank you, Jay. Run into. But it's I saw her. Okay. But it can also mean literally too. So Hime bumped into Nene in the hall at school. ¿Verdad? ¿Qué es? Hime, no sé cómo lo dirían ustedes. Como que la pegó, pero a propósito, pero no tan duro, tal vez. Es como con el hombro, ¿verdad? It's like with the shoulder. Hime bumped into Nene at the hall. So Hime le pegó a Nene con el hombro en el pasillo en la escuela, ¿verdad? Se topó. Eso es lo que es. Sorry. Se topó. Creo que es eso. Chocaron. Sí. Se chocó. Exacto. She bumped into Nene. So we can use it literally or we can use it figuratively. ¿Ves? Ustedes me enseñan un montón también. So eso es bump into o run into. En el pasado vamos a decir, Hime ran into Nene in the hall at school. Right? Tropezó, topó, chocó. Thank you, Carmen. Carmen said, bless you. Salud. Nos encontramos, me encontré. Bless you. Thank you, Iris. I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Rozar. Nunca he escuchado ese verbo. Se chocó. So that's the verb bump into, run into. We use it figuratively a lot, which is like, oh, hey, I bumped into your dad at church yesterday. You know, we had a great conversation. Or, yeah, I bumped into him at the ice fishing contest and, you know, we shared some good stuff. So that's some slang. I want to just go back to slang really quick because I saw that Carlos had put a bunch of good stuff in there. Okay. Gimme, ama, oughta, kinda, whatcha, have-to, right? I want you guys to understand, when we write, oftentimes we write these slangs, which literally mean give me, dame, or I'm going to, voy a. Oughta, out of. Kinda, kind of. Whatcha is literally like, what are you, right? Like, what you doing? Or have to. So, written, these are all considered slang, right? These are all considered slang. I would never write gimme at work, you know, in an email. Like, could you please give me those, I don't know, cross-country jerseys? I would never write that. But when I'm speaking, cuando estoy hablando, siempre voy a pronunciar estas combinaciones así. So, aún en ambientes formales, no necesariamente voy a decir give me. Voy a decir gimme. Could you give me that book, please? ¿Podrías darme ese libro, por favor? Could you give me a second? ¿Me podrías dar un segundo, verdad? Or, bueno, ama no. I'm gonna, I would say. I'm gonna. Ama es como muy informal. So, este voy a ponerle así como mi mamá diría, andate para la calle. Ama, eso es muy informal. Pero significa I'm going to. También hay gente que dice I'm finna. I have no idea where that came from. Finna. I do not know where finna came from. Pedro dice, llegué tarde, pero estoy aquí. Gracias por estar aquí, Pedro. Out of. Yeah, we're out of fish, right? Ya no tenemos pescado. Kind of. This is a kind of car. Este es un tipo de carro. O más o menos. ¿Te gustan las papas? Kinda. Más o menos. What are you? Like, what you doing? ¿Qué estás haciendo? What you doing? What are you doing? And then have to. Creo que esas reducciones son los que hacen un poco más difícil el listening. Sí, Chris. Pero es importante también incorporarlas en nuestro vocabulario. Instagrameros, si quieren ver la lista que tengo aquí escrita, pueden meterse a mi YouTube y verla. Idiomas con Jake, es algo como en YouTube. Pero sí, Chris, es importante también incorporarlas en nuestro vocabulario, porque es algo que hacemos los gringos con el español, que a veces nos cuesta combinar las palabras así como ustedes lo hacen, los hispanohablantes. Siento que yo soy bastante bueno en eso, no por ser egoísta, pero yo pensé mucho en cómo combinar las palabras así para sonar más natural, más como un hispanohablante cuando estaba hablando. Estoy de acuerdo. I'm finna is I'm gonna find. No, I'm finna is I'm gonna. Voy a. I'm finna. Loco. Jeet yet? ¿Qué es? I don't know what jeet is. Kind of, sort of. Yeah, exactly. Le empujó. Ando perdido, Saraí. Creo que estás un poco atrasada en el video, la verdad. Recuerdo una canción de Alice in China que llama God. Nunca entendí por qué combinar así las palabras. Ah, sí, sí, sí. Yo no sé. Yo no sé. Pero lo hacemos mucho, ¿verdad? Ok, eso es slang. Conversar fluido. ¿Cómo conversar más fluido con los angloparlantes? Siento que es lo mismo de eso de los errores. Es entender que vas a cometer un montón de errores. Es parte del proceso. La gente va a entender. Y también que es importante buscar esas oportunidades de cometer los errores en la conversación. Y no tengas miedo a cometerlos. Todo el mundo comete errores. Yo cometo, pero un montón de errores en español y en inglés también. En mi trabajo, enfrente de clases de 37 niños. Ahí estoy yo, bailando, cometiendo errores, pero gozándola. I go in and out of the video because I'm making addresses in Australia. Thank you very much for the information. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Let's continue. Okay, phrasal verbs. Guys, I've had a lot of questions about phrasal verbs lately, and I understand because phrasal verbs must be so frustrating as a Spanish speaker because it just doesn't make sense. Why does the word up modify get and run and fall and all that type of stuff? Like, why does it modify these words in a different way? Or throw or show or all of that type of stuff. You need to learn phrasal verbs as if they were different verbs. So you can't learn I don't even think it helps to learn, for example, take and then learn take up, take out, take in, take over, take around. Like, I just don't think that helps. I think it's better to learn take up as if it were his own vocab word. And this sucks because there's so many of them, right? There's literally hundreds of phrasal verbs. I think you guys are going to find that oftentimes when you use a phrasal verb, there's probably a word that you could use more efficiently. And when you listen to spoken English, when you listen to English a lot, you're going to find that, and listen to how I said, you're going to find, vas a ver, you're going to find that British people speak way more efficiently than gringos, than people from the United States. I think that's beautiful. But it's important when you're listening to us gringos speak like cavemen, like cavernícolas. It's important to know what these phrasal verbs are. Show up instead of arrive, or get there instead of arrive, for example. It's just British people speak more efficiently. We tend to use way more phrasal verbs in the United States. They do it in Great Britain as well. But so my answer to your question about phrasal verbs, you have to learn them like they were vocab words. Tenés que aprender esos verbos frasales como si fueran palabras separadas de vocabulario. Mucho trabajo, sí, pero importante. Para ver, es verdad que en español tenemos muy pocas reducciones. Sí, cierto. Menos. Por cierto, brother, te envié el correo con la petición. No te olvides de mí, please. Wilmar, de la semana pasada. Ok, ya me fijo. Es que me llegan muchos emails, pero yo lo busco. Ejercicios de memorización. Miren, con memorizar, de nuevo, es decir. Y esto no solo aplica al inglés, es con todo. Si lo puedes decir, te lo sabes. Aprende diciendo. Pero sí tengo una buena aplicación que voy a poner en el chat de YouTube, que si les gustan las fichas, esta aplicación, Anki, la mejor aplicación de fichas. Porque te las da a intervalos diferentes, así para que vos puedas ver la palabra cuando la necesites. Eso sí. Past perfect. I think we already talked about past perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and skip past perfect, el pasado perfecto. Bueno, vamos a verlo. Pasado perfecto equals haber en pasado más participio. Let's get some examples of past perfect. Habíamos, I always use the same examples. Encendido las luces. Ella había manejado mucho. So those are a couple of examples of past perfect. Yeah, and Carlos says had plus PP in English. Had plus a past participle, right? So we had turned on the lights. Here's the thing. Siempre vamos a usar had. No importa si soy yo, vos, él, ella, nosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. No importa. Vamos a usar had siempre con el pasado. So, no importa el pronombre. No importa el sujeto. Y luego tenemos que aprender encendido, turned. Hay palabras regulares con estos participios. E Instagrameros, si quieren ver lo que estoy escribiendo, pueden meterse a mi canal de YouTube, Idiomas con Jake. Ahí pueden ver todo lo que tengo escrito en la pantalla. Ay, perdón. Tenemos que aprendernos estos participios pasados en inglés. Es difícil porque hay regulares y hay irregulares y no todos siguen la misma regla. Hay como un patrón, pero no todos siguen ese patrón. Eso es lo difícil. So, encendido, turned on. We had turned on the lights, ¿verdad? Habíamos encendido. Ella había manejado mucho. She had driven a lot. And I know you guys can't see. She had driven a lot. So, that's the past perfect. I had slept when you came home yesterday. Ya había dormido. Exacto. I had slept. El pasado del pasado. Sí, cierto. Sí, cierto. Ese es el pasado perfecto. So, vamos a continuar. Second conditionals. Si pasara algo, tendría algo. Ok, so por ejemplo, si tuviera más dinero, no estaría aquí. If I had more money. Okay, this is the general pattern. If X person had done something. So, si hubiéramos caminado más, if we had walked more, if I had more money, I wouldn't be here. And this condicional es todo normal. Es el condicional que nosotros conocemos. If I had more money, I wouldn't be here. Si tuviera más dinero, no estaría aquí. Acabo de darme cuenta de qué es ese ejemplo. Si yo tuviera mucha plata, aún estaría aquí con ustedes, porque esta es mi pasión, es estar acá enseñando y compartiendo mi tiempo con ustedes. Pero tal vez no estaría aquí en Houston. Estaría, no sé, en Bali, Costa Rica, Brasil, algún lugar chiva, más chiva. If I spoke perfect English, I wouldn't be here. Ya, si hablara el inglés perfectamente, no estaría acá. Si hubiera ido a una escuela americana, I wouldn't have studied English. Yeah, if I had gone to an American school, I wouldn't have studied English. Profe, ¿cuánto tiempo le llevó a hablar el español? Empecé a los 18 años, so ya llevamos como, ¿qué? 9 años, ¿verdad? Brasil estaría chiva, en la playa, con os brasileiros. Jogando futebol na praia. All right, let's continue. Common native English speaker errors. I think we already talked about that a little bit. I guess you guys would have to give me some common errors that we make. But we talked about the slang and the poor use of some verbal tenses. Like a very common native English speaker error is to say, I seen instead of I saw. So, for example, and I hate this. Yo odio esto también. Yo creo que sí fue mi mamá. Mi mamá me lo puso. Esta obsesión con la gramática y tenerla correcta. My mom gave me this. But I saw a movie yesterday. This is how I should say it. Yo vi una película ayer. I saw a movie yesterday. Yo vi una película ayer. Hay mucha gente que diría, I seen a movie yesterday. And I don't know if you guys do this in Spanish. Yo no sé si ustedes hacen esto en español. Pero esto es como decir, yo visto una película ayer. ¿Verdad? Y el doble negativo también. Y ya hablamos de eso. I ain't got no fork. I don't have nothing. No tengo nada. Ale Palilla dice, ¿cuántos idiomas hablas? Hablo inglés, español, un poquito el portugués y un poquito el ruso. Native speakers usually make mistakes when they write. Yeah, I mean, and it also depends too. Is it an educated native speaker or is it a less educated native speaker? I mean, my high school kids, they write like donkeys. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them write very, very, very poorly in English, to where a lot of you people could probably write better sentences than them. But that's okay. A college educated person probably writes a little bit better than that. I think native speakers usually make mistakes on the right. Yeah. Maybe Manuel Antonio, Costa Rica. Manuel Antonio, Costa Rica. I saw a movie yesterday. I seen a movie yesterday. We could also say I watched, Manny. We could also say I watched. If I were a rich man, I have no idea what you're talking about. Se dice, yo vi. Así simple. Sí. All right. Connected speech. Should I do it? Oh, we talked about this. Connected speech. Absolutely. Learn connected speech and practice with it. Pereira. Ese es el apellido de mi esposa. Yo soy del norte de los estados. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm from the northern United States. Pronunciation de la TH. It depends on the word. Depende de la palabra. Russian, that's great. Do you have Russian friends? No, Cesar. I don't. Well, I have 2 coworkers who speak Russian, and so every day I get to say Dobre utro, как дела, хорошо, а у вас, спасибо, хорошо, and then I say хорошего дня. So that's what I say every single day, Cesar, with my Russian coworkers, which is basically good morning, how are you? I'm good, and you? I'm good, thank you, have a good day. So, ese es mi ruso. I can say basic sentences too, like vrasi hola nasi moi, but that's just kind of like rote memorization of Russian phrases. So I wouldn't say that's very good speaking. Yo mire, what a película, the Think Tink, these, those. Yeah, so yo creo que hay una regla con la TH, pero no me la sé, la verdad. O sea, yo podría decir, si ustedes me dan una palabra, por ejemplo, the, think, these, those, and all of that type of stuff. I could tell you how to say them, but I don't know the rules. Good to know your wife has the same last name. Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure there's not a lot of Pereiras in Latinoamérica. I'm sure there's not very many people with that last name in Latin America. Okay, thanks. The different pronunciation, why it sounds like d, y, z. Yeah, Wilmar, like I said, you could give me a word and I could say it, but I wouldn't know why, you know. Somebody says, does Instagram pay you? Yeah, but not very much. See, yeah, they pay me, but they don't pay me very much, to answer your question. Actually, Instagram, there was a time where Instagram paid a lot more money, and now they don't pay as much money to people like me. But I'm not complaining. I was never doing this for the money anyway. I have a job, so I make all my money during the day, and then I get to hang out with you guys. It's certainly nice, like, you know, getting paid. But the apple, the phrase. Think is with Z, pero el that is with D. Think that. Think that. Think that. I don't know what you're saying with Z. Así como la Z de los españoles. Fiddler on the Roof. If I were a rich man, that's why I told you that. Ah, very good, Manny. Very good. Thanks for your time. Yes, it's a Portuguese last name. I'm from Nicaragua, but I just got my citizenship in Costa Rica. So, Pereira? Pereira is a Portuguese last name. I guess that makes sense. Possible to use on, about. Yeah, like think about or think on. Yeah. Though, through. So I think I know where you're going with this. Though, through, throughout. And these are tough words, right? I feel bad for you people who are learning English and you have to learn this. And it's like, okay, the, think, these, those, though, through, throughout. I didn't know that. You know, why would you, like, it doesn't make sense. I honestly don't know the rule, though. I don't know the rule. Hay TH sonora que vibra como mother. Y la otra es más suave como think. ¿Cierto, Jake? Sí, cierto. Sí, cierto. Tenemos como, por ejemplo, muy buen ejemplo, ¿verdad? Mother versus think. Esta TH tiene sonido. Mother. Y esta TH no tiene sonido, ¿verdad? Que es think, es aire nada más. Yo no sé por qué. Jake, did you see Adesanya fight last night? Cesar, I didn't watch, well, I watched the fight afterwards. I watched like the highlights. I didn't watch the fight. Anesthesia. Anesthesia. Yeah. Authority. Enthusiastic. Very good, Carlos. So, yeah, to answer those questions. Anesthesia. Authority. Enthusiastic. Authentic. So none of those really have it. But like in this word, mother, es como los españoles dicen la Z, ¿verdad? pero con un poco de sonido, que es th, 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 mother, mother. Antonio, thank you and congratulations. Tu página inspira que los hispanohablantes hablen inglés en USA. Great inspiration. Thank you so much, Antonio. Appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I love making the videos and I love hanging out with you guys and I just love languages. Me encantan los idiomas. Por eso yo lo nombré idiomas con Jake en vez de inglés con Jake, porque me gustan los idiomas. Authentic, thick, thumb, therapist, healthy, third. Hay palabras en inglés que tengan thu, ¿cómo así? Thu, theater, thirsty. Well, we have like words like this. To thwart. Thwart is like parar o dejar alguna operación, parar algo, ¿verdad? Thwart. Como si tuviéramos planes, I thwarted those plans. Which are the most commonly used phrasal verbs? Can you mention 10, please? Genesis, I have a series on YouTube about phrasal verbs. Maybe check that out because there I have many more than 10. But the 10 common ones, I guess, look up, run into, take over is common, get into, get there, or get here. Those are all very common phrasal verbs just off the top of my head. But yeah, check my YouTube channel. I have a good little series on phrasal verbs. Empathy, theory. No encuentro palabras que tengan thu. Veo que sí hay thwarting, thus. Buena. See, thus. Thus is like a very formal way of saying entonces, thus. Yuki, pura vida, ¿cómo estás? Estoy bien, Yuki. ¿Cómo estás vos? ¿Cómo está la vida por ahí? Excelente, Chris. Thursday. Yeah, that's true. Jueves. Thursday. Chicos, bueno, digo chicos porque tengo mis clases con los niños, ¿verdad? I showed my Spanish 1 class this word Thursday, jueves, and I happened to hear the sound jueves. Carmen, I have to sleep. It's already past midnight. Thanks. Thank you for being here, Carmen. I appreciate you. No conocía el thus, primera vez que lo escucho. Sí, thus es como entonces. Though, mire, though, y tengo un video de esto también, to live life, which that's an interesting name, to live life. But though, we also say though informally in the United States. Okay, so we say though. Bathtub, pathetic, call off, thus. Carlos, you're kicking butt. All right, guys, listen. I appreciate you guys, but it has been an hour and 17 minutes, and I'm getting kind of hungry, and I got to do a little workout here, and I got to eat my dinner, and my wife should be home soon, so I'm going to have to let you go. I appreciate it. Did we miss anything else here? El tiempo más difícil. Ok, el tiempo más difícil. Vamos a ver esto rápidamente. Vamos a pasarnos un poquito. El tiempo más difícil es esto que ustedes dicen. En algunos países latinoamericanos dicen, hubieras hecho X. Para decir, deberías haber hecho X. Lo intercambian. Lo hacen en Costa Rica. Sé que no en todos los países hispanohablantes, pero hice un video de esto, de hubieras hecho, porque es condicional, pero también es, bueno, es hipotético. También es como una obligación en el pasado, ¿verdad? So, no sé, ese es el tiempo verbal más difícil, digo. May versus might, para expresar un poco de duda. Tal vez haga un video corto de eso, pero si ustedes ven también mis videos de Instagram, todavía salgo con pelo largo. So, ustedes pueden ver qué tan grande era mi banco de videos, como 60. Yo creo que a finales de este mes van a empezar a salir mis videos bueno, con pelo corto. Y tengo que cortarme el pelo de nuevo. Ya se me está haciendo muy largo. Se está poniendo enfrente de mis ojos mientras doy la clase en Estados Unidos. Alguien preguntó, creo que era Chris, que si trabajo en una escuela de idiomas. No. Bueno, trabajo en el departamento de idiomas en una escuela en los Estados Unidos, pero es una escuela pública y doy clases de español 1 y español 2. Aprendemos lo puro básico. De hecho, estamos tomando un examen mañana en español 1 sobre las presentaciones, cómo te llamas, cuántos años tienes, de dónde eres, qué te gusta hacer, cómo eres, ese tipo de cosas. Y en español 2 estamos aprendiendo los verbos con cambios de raíz, como siento, pero el verbo básico, el infinitivo, es sentir. Los verbos go, así como tengo, hago, traigo, pongo, porque esos son verbos raros para nosotros. Y algo más, los verbos regulares, ¿verdad? Cómo cambiamos la terminación de un verbo para decir quién es la persona que hace esa acción. Muy raro pensar en todas esas cosas si no sos maestro de español. ¿Qué país de Asia te gusta? Muchos países de Asia. Japón, Corea del Sur, Indonesia. Sí. Yo no sé nada de gramática en español. No, yo tampoco. Yo tampoco. Bueno, muchísimas gracias por toda la participación. Este en vivo ha sido increíble y por eso hemos durado 1 hora y 20 minutos y siento que podríamos seguir 1 hora y 20 minutos más si quisiéramos. Thank you so much for all of your participation today. I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to continue going live every Monday at 4 p.m. I will try my best to be on time. I was late today. That's because I'm irresponsible. Okay, so I'll take full responsibility for being irresponsible. Juliana, thank you. I appreciate all your help. Bye-bye. Thank you, Juliana. Saludos, Pedro. Thank you, Wilmar. Thank you, Rita. I appreciate all of you guys. Listen, have an amazing week. Be safe. Be smart. Make some good decisions. If you have questions, send me a message or an email. I've been horrible about responding lately. I'm sorry. I've just been so busy with my job. I'm not complaining. I've let idiomas con Jake go a little bit. So, but I'm going to try and get it back, right? I'm going to try and respond to all those messages and get back on top of things. So appreciate you guys so much. Have an amazing day. Instagram, I'm saying goodbye to you guys first. Adios and pura vida. Have a great day. And YouTube, now we're all together. Thank you guys as always. I appreciate you. I'm going to even write it in here. Have an amazing week. The best week ever. La mejor semana de todos los tiempos. Gracias, es una mañana súper comenzando con inglés. Eso, Alejandra. Seguí así. Sigan estudiando. Si tienen preguntas o dudas, me las dejan en los comentarios o en el chat o en mis mensajes de Instagram y yo trato de responderles. Cuídense mucho y que tengan una linda semana. Pura vida.